Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah Olson. I live in southern Minnesota with my husband and our two kids, Sophie and Soren. Sophie is 3 years old and Soren just turned 1, so we are very busy chasing around two little kids all day. I'm a former elementary school teacher turned stay-at-home mom. I stay home with our two kids full-time and I absolutely love it. It's a dream job for me and I still miss teaching, so that's why I'm really enjoying doing some homeschool preschool stuff with our daughter Sophie. So you can definitely see other videos I've put up about homeschooling too. I've been blogging for years now, but have recently added YouTube to the list of hobbies, and it's just been really fun sharing videos with you all. So be sure to stick around and hit that subscribe button below. So let's get into today's video and why I am sitting on my dining room floor. I have created a special little Christmas reading corner for the kids. It's something that I've kind of played around with the idea of for several years now, but never really did something like that. But it's so magical. I'm so glad I did it, and I plan on doing it some sort of Christmas reading corner every year from now on. And here in our Christmas reading corner, we have a book box. It was an Etsy shop that I worked with, and I can link her shop below. I love this book box, but it usually resides in the kids' room upstairs. I brought it down for the purposes of creating a special reading cozy corner for the kids. Growing up, we always had some special Christmas related or holiday or winter related picture books that my mom would bring out at this time of year, and I wanted to replicate that kind of Christmas memory for my own kids. So I have a book box here next to me full of Christmas and winter related picture books. These are extra special for this time of year, although we live in Minnesota. It's winter for a lot of months here, so I kind of plan on leaving them out for longer than just the Christmas season. So today I wanted to share the books with you that I have collected over time, but also more of them recently based on people's recommendations on Instagram and other book reviews I read on Amazon. I've really curated a collection here of Christmas books for the kids. We've read all of them except one, I think, as they've trickled in from Amazon. So it'll be really fun to just enjoy these throughout the holiday season with Sophie and Soren. We don't do a whole lot with Santa in this family, but I'm not opposed to kind of the fairy tale aspect of sharing stories about Santa and his reindeer, or listening to Christmas songs about Santa, that kind of thing. This first book is called Dasher. This one is pretty new to me, but it has instantly become a favorite. It is by Matt Tavares, and it is about Dasher, one of Santa's reindeer, in the story of how she found Santa, or Santa found her, and how she became one of his reindeer, and how all the reindeer actually came to be part of his team. We've got this one called The Night Before Christmas, which is just that 'Twas the Night Before Christmas poem, the famous poem, and it has beautiful illustrations. It's really well done, and Sophie really enjoyed it. It kept her attention. This says it's the classic edition, so this is great if you want a classic poem, you know, a typical Christmas poem that is so well known in your household. This one's called The Little Snowplow. Oh, if you see a reflection on my book, it's because I'm sitting by the kids' little Christmas tree here, and I had turned that on. But this is a book that was given to Soren for his first birthday in November. It's a sweet story about basically the little snowplow who could when the larger trucks could not help out with a snowstorm. This is one that I have not read yet. It's called Apple Tree Christmas, but I read reviews about it, and I look forward to reading this one with Sophie. Now you can really see the Christmas tree lights reflecting, but this is called Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. It rhymes, it's hilarious, and it was recommended to me by a friend. Actually, I think more than one person recommended this book to me. It's really funny and sweet about how, as you can see, the top of this tree is a little bent because Mr. Willoughby couldn't fit this tall tree in his house, and so he had to slice off the top, and subsequently all these other people and animals are taking the top that had been sliced off, but then they realize even that is too large for their space, face, and it just goes all the way down to, I think, a mouse. So this one's gonna be a new favorite, I think, for our family to bring out every year. Found another one actually that I have not read yet, but this one had super high reviews, I think, on Amazon. It's called The Christmas Miracle of Jonathan Tooney, and I do judge books by the cover. I love illustrations and artwork, and this is just gorgeous. I think it'll be a really good one to have as part of our collection. This is one we've had for quite some time. It's called There Was No Snow on Christmas Eve. I believe it rhymes. I love rhyming books too. And it talks about how there was no snow, of course, and no special decorations or parties or Christmas themed celebrations when Jesus made his humble entrance into our world. We love Little Blue Truck books in this family. If you have seen my gift guide video, which I can link below as well, about baby boy gift ideas, this is included in there because Soren has, we own multiple Little Blue Truck books. This is Little Blue Truck's Christmas. This one is fun because it ends with, oh, there it goes. It ends with some twinkle lights, which is especially fun for kids this time of year. Oh, and in this story, the Little Blue Truck is basically delivering Christmas trees to all of his farm animal friends. This was another instant new favorite of mine. I must really like the author, Matt Tavares, because he wrote this one as well as that one called Dasher. This one's called Red and Lulu, and those are the names of these two cardinals. They are a pair, and they love each other, but they lose track of each other over time when their giant tree that they love living in, their pine tree, gets chopped down, and it ends up being used for Christmas celebration purposes. It's a really sweet story of how they find each other again. This is called The Legend of the Candy Cane. It was recommended to me by several people when I asked for Christmas book recommendations over on Instagram, so I made sure to pick this one up. Bjorn read this to Sophie the other day and they really enjoyed it. So it's kind of a historical Christian Christmas related look at the legend of the candy cane. I threw this one in our Christmas or winter book box because it is about winter days in the big woods. Sophie really enjoys these little house picture books, the children's picture books, and this one's winter related, which is why I threw it in our Christmas box here. Sophie loves Laura and their whatever adventures they're having, so this one had to be in the box for sure. I threw this one in for Soren. We've had this since Sophie was born. It's called Little Penguin. It's a simple touch and feel book that you can see. You can feel the polar bear. There's like a mini poem about each creature. It's simple, but it's a cute book, and it's always been a hit with my kids when they've been little, like Soren's age, so I threw it in here for Soren to have something to read in the Christmas book box too. This book is just called When It Snows. You can really hear my long Minnesota O there when I say snow, but it's just one of those books about the magic of childhood in the winter time. Really pretty illustrations too. Here's one by one of my favorite children's authors, Sally Lloyd Jones. She wrote the Jesus Storybook Bible, if you have heard of that. I shared about that book and another one called Found in Sophie's gift guide video, so my toddler girl gift guide video as well. But this one is called Song of the Stars, and it's talking about the anticipation of Christmas and how all of creation, all of the animals and nature are all singing and looking forward to when Jesus is going to be born. So she walks through all sorts of, all parts of creation, like the lion, the animals, and then all of a sudden, you know, they focus in more on Bethlehem and where Jesus was born. This is a board book, but would be great for, you know, older kids too. Oh my goodness, this is an all-time favorite children's book for me. It's by Max, is it Lucado? Max Lucado. He's a Christian author. He writes in such a thoughtful, thought-provoking way that it strikes adults like deeply too. I love books like that where as you're reading it to your child, you're hit with the deep meaning of what the author is trying to get across, but it's still truths that a child can grasp. So this is called The Crippled Lamb. It's about a little lamb named Josh who was born with one leg that didn't work quite right, so he can't always join all the other sheep in the other valleys. His only friend is Abigail the cow, who's older and she's wise, and Abigail the cow always says, God has a special place, Josh, for those who feel left out. And that's a repeated phrase in the book, is that God has a special place for those who feel left out. So he can't go along with the sheep when they go with the shepherds to the next valley. But then he and Abigail are sleeping back in a stable one night. I think you can guess where I'm going with this. But a baby is born, and Josh keeps the new baby boy warm with his wool, and that is his special task, his special job. And he had felt so left out and didn't understand why he was such a different lamb or a different sheep than the others, and he thought he had nothing special to offer. And it turns out that he got to keep baby Jesus warm on his first night on earth. So, oh my goodness, I could cry talking about it, so I need to move on. But it is such a good book. Go buy this for your kids or for yourself. This one's not very fun to look at because I took the dust jacket off. I do that. I tend to do that. It's called The Mitten. You've probably heard of The Mitten by Jan Brett. How about I show you something other than the cover? It's about all these forest creatures that find this boy's lost mitten, and they all try to squeeze into it, and they remarkably do, like all the way up to the size of a bear. It's goofy, but it's a fun one for kids to read about, and how all the animals fit together in the mitten. And then the little boy gets, well, that's again not very exciting, but then the little boy gets his mitten back and goes home to, I think it's his grandmother, who asks that she wanted him to make sure he always had both of his mittens when he got home. But the animals had had a fun adventure in the mitten that day. So The Mitten by Jan Brett is just a good classic winter book to have in your collection. Here's another one of those Little House books, children's books. This one is about Almanzo, who eventually ended up growing up. When he and Laura grew up, they got married. But this is, you know, if you've ever heard of Farmer Boy is one of those Little House on the Prairie type of books, and it's about him. And so this is just a winter themed book, so I put it in our Christmas box. This one is called Christmas Day in the Morning. I'm trying not to reflect the Christmas lights too much for you, but it's by Pearl Buck, and this one was published in 1955, so it's older, but this is a newer one for our family. I found it on Amazon, and it had high reviews. It had come back into print at some point, but it is so good. I hope you guys can't hear the washing machine too loudly right now. It's in the kitchen. It's like in a closet in the kitchen over there, so hopefully I can just talk over it and we'll be good. It's about a teen boy who didn't know what to get his hardworking farmer father for Christmas. So this boy had overheard his father saying to his mom that he just hated waking his teen son up to help with milking the cows early in the morning, because he knew his teen boy was just growing and tired, and he just didn't want to bother his son with it, but he knew that he still had to get the job done, and he really appreciated his son's help. So then this teen boy, wanting to come up with something extra special and thoughtful for his dad for Christmas, he stays up all night, and I think it's like at 2 a.m. that he milks all the cows, cleans up all the, cleans up everything after he goes out and milks all the cows early in the morning, like 2 a.m. And then he goes back to bed. He sneaks back to bed, and his dad comes in to wake him up to do the milking, and he just is so excited quietly under the covers because his dad doesn't know yet that he's already done all the milking for that day. And then his father goes out, realizes his son has done all the milking for him, and it just means the world to his dad, and it's like the Christmas that his dad will never forget. This Christmas Day in the Morning book is just really special. I know this will be a favorite for us for years. So that's it for our Christmas book collection, at least for 2020. I'm pretty sure I will enjoy adding extra books to our collection as the years go on, because we love books in this family. We love to read, and I just love geeking out over children's books. There are so many good ones out there too. I hope you enjoyed seeing the books that are in our Christmas collection. Please leave a comment below and let me know, what is your favorite children's book for this time of year, like for the holiday season or for winter. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please consider sticking around and hitting that red subscribe button below. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at, and I'll see you in my next one.